began a relationship with a certain college student in order to hide the evidence. That college student. Have you heard anything about him? Well, I heard one thing. That college student was such a simp. Hello everyone, my name's Aussie Hornet. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. We are going to be continuing with Bridge to the Turnabout. And, yeah, let's get to it. Right, is this what Dodo was talking about? Yeah, the trick locks. Now then, Iris, please remove these at once. Mr. Edwards, I'm afraid I can't. It's not possible for me. What? During the earthquake, when the cabin was in danger of caving in, Iris escaped. And I know that there was only one lock when I last came here. So you're saying that you can't undo the new locks? Yes. If only I was stronger. Edgeworth, how are you feeling? You look a little pale in the face. Like you're the one to talk with your face all green. Miles Edgeworth, go and get some air. I'll watch over the suspect. You go and get a grip on yourself. Don't be ridiculous. I'm perfectly... There's no telling what sort of mistakes you could make in your current state. Go and get some rest. That's your only concern now, Miles Edgeworth. Understood. I'll handle the investigation in the garden. You take care of things here. Edgeworth. Got so much pride that he's probably off crying in a corner of the garden. Pride is simply another trap that hinders us in our lives. That said, one must have pride to be effective on the job. At any rate, it seems that this is where we part ways, Phoenix, right? I'm going to stay here and see if I can't help solve these bothersome puzzles. I see. Well, thanks for your help. Now then, do you mind if I ask you a few things, Iris? No. Why did you make a run for it, Iris? I'm sorry. I heard the inner temple had been severely shaken by the strong earthquake we had. I was so worried. I just had to come and see. In other words, you didn't run away to escape the law? At least we're clear on that. I can't tell you how relieved I was when I said the secret cavern was alright, but... But what? I saw these chains here. I saw these extra ropes that someone had put on the sacred cavern door and... Who in the world would do something like this? These triplets are a secret treasure in the Korean tradition. There are hundreds of ways to set them. Only the person who set the lock can open it. And you aren't the one who set these locks? I don't think it's that simple, Francisco Ronchama. When we were here the first time, there was only one lock. But now, somehow, there's 5 of them. What does that mean? It means that someone wanted to secure the place even more. And they wanted to secure it before you got here, Iris. Presumably because they wanted to make sure Maya couldn't get out. This means that Iris can only open one of these locks, the first one. Yes, that's correct. What? Iris, try to think, please. Is there any way around this? Like I said, there are hundreds of different ways to set these locks. With every combination of each one, I could remove them. But... It will take time, won't it? Yes, about a day if I had to guess. A whole day? That's better than leaving the locks in place. Will you do this for us? Sure, I'll do whatever I can. I'm gonna wait another day? Hang in there, Maya. You're going to have to call on your inner strength now. You know what, Iris? There's still one thing I don't quite get. And what might that be, Phoenix, right? I think it's obvious. Iris, on the night of the murder, where were you? Please, Iris, don't give me that look. You told us that you were in your room at Hazakura Temple at the time of the incident. But you were seen that same evening at the inner temple. And then, you were spotted at the scene of the crime in Hazakura Temple too. Being spotted at both Hazakura Temple and the inner temple. It's as if you were. Well, Iris, I think it's about time you told us the truth. Yep. He's being suspicious again. 3 locks instead of 5. I knew it. There's something going on here that we don't know about. Oh, don't give me that. Oh, Mr. Nick. Pearls, what are you doing here? Nothing. What about Mystic Maya? Is she alright? Well, we don't know yet. Oh, I see. Hey, what do you think you're doing here, Nick? Larry. This is a loser shack, where losers get together to lose themselves. This is the what? Hey, we find comfort in each other's failures, okay? You got a problem with that? Mr. Nick, Mr. Larice did a picture of me. That's, great, Pearls. We're going to gather firewood now. We'll be cooking some half-run potatoes over a miserable little campfire. So stay out of our way. I don't believe this. Why can't he try getting fired up over becoming a better man? I don't believe a word I say anymore. Listen to me, Pearl. You don't want to trust this kind of guy, okay? He'll only let you down. Hey, come on now. Mystic Maya. Larry, is there something you want to tell me about this picture? I got nothing to say to you, Nick. My life's here now with Pearl, two losers cooking potatoes together forevermore. What am I gonna do with him? Alright then. What do you think about this picture, Pearls? I think it's really well drawn. I draw it all, so I think it's really amazing. See? Someone appreciates it. It's tough getting the flames to look like that, you know? It's supposed to be Sister Iris flying through the air, isn't it? I love it. It's like a dream. A wonderful fantasy. No, it wasn't a dream. You really flew. I'm telling you, Iris really flew that night. And Mr. Larice. Not you two. Please don't look at me like that, Pearl. Please don't look at me like I'm some kind of nutcase. I beg of you. I guess this picture really is a representation of what Larry thinks he saw. Okay, so I was half asleep when I was here that night. I was wide awake after the lightning struck. And I saw what I saw. It was exactly like I drew in the picture. And it looks like I don't have any choice but to take this sketch at face value. Hey, what's with the look of doubt on your face? Pearls? Yes, Mr. Nick? I've been meaning to ask you about the night of the murder. Where were you, and what exactly were you doing when it all happened? I was just, well, I'm just a kid, you know? And I'm sure it doesn't matter what I was doing, does it, Mr. Nick? Sorry, Pearls, but yes, it does. On the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Miss Denham's room reading a book together. But Miss Denham was murdered, and you, Pearls, were at the inner temple. Just what exactly happened that night, Pearls? I'm really sorry, Mr. Nick. Oh no. I've been bad. That's why I'm being punished. What are you talking about, Pearls? Her spiritual power. It has disappeared. What? Her powers have disappeared? What do you mean your powers have disappeared, Pearls? It's all over for me. A spirit medium who can't channel spirits is like a painter who can't paint. Kinda like you, Larry. Hey, what are you looking at me for? Pearls, did you try to channel someone's spirit right here at the Hazakura Temple? Tried but failed, perhaps? Oh boy. Way to go, Nick! You made her cry! That was really cruel of you! Just as I thought. I wonder if Sister Bikini is back in the main hall yet. I haven't seen Gumshoe around for a while either. Maybe they're having a cup of tea together somewhere. But Gumshoe is Sister Bikini's type. Oh, there you are. Well, what's the damage? How's the sacred cavern? It looks like it survived. But we have a bigger problem now. I told Sister Bikini all about it. About the 5 locks that were stopping us from getting inside the sacred cavern. But who? Who could have done that? Now I only people who knew how to set those trip locks up. Those are the Korean tradition. We have Iris at the Sacred Cavern trying her best to open them for us right now. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to talk with you about, Sister Bikini. Yes, we were in the middle of a chat, weren't we? Yes. You were telling me how the Master Korean disappeared 17 years ago. I want to know why Misty Face suddenly appeared at this temple. It was about a week ago when Mystic Mystic Misty arrived. She showed me the talisman that proved she was the master, she said. Someone is trying to destroy the Korean tradition's main family line. I'm here to put a stop to them. Someone was trying to destroy the main family line? There's only one hand to the title of master at any time, and it's usually the eldest. That child becomes the new Master Korean, and her daughters, the main family. All other mediums become branch family members with no hope of controlling the clan. That's why nothing has changed in the history of the clan. Branch families always have and always will plot to erase those in the main family line. Whoa, that's kind of messed up. Is the power of the master worth this much bloodshed? You believe in the technique, don't you, Mr. Wright? You know its power is real. Yes, I do. It's been 2 years since I first met Maya. In that time, I've seen her channel the spirits of the dead plenty of times. During the Master Mask case. And during Maggie Bird's trial, too. Thanks to Maya, Mia's always on hand to help me out when I need her the most. The technique has made a huge difference to the world, you know. I mean, the ability to commune with the dead, that's true psychic power, you know. Members of the tradition have always been there, behind every important leader. Who wouldn't respect such a tremendous skill? I suppose so, but with all that power and influence, I kind of expected you'd be really rich by now. Are you saying we're poor, Mr. Wright? You're very direct, aren't you? People don't believe in it anymore, you see. All because of one little mistake. A mistake? What mistake? Well, 17 years ago, that's when everything came crashing down. All because of that incident. That incident? Is she talking about what I think she is? I'm sure the record still exists if you're interested. Locked up, of course. It was called the DL6 incident. That's the name of the file. The DL6 incident. I knew it! DL6 incident. I know it well. I handled a related case just 2 years ago. That's right. So it was you who was the defense attorney in that case. A matter that took place 17 years ago. It was the first time in the country's history the police ever used a spirit medium. The idea was to channel the victim's spirit to learn the identity of the murderer. And the medium who performed the channeling was Misty Faye, Maya's mother. Through Misty's channeling, the name of a certain man surfaced. After that, as evidence, the investigators were spurred into action. But that man, he was found not guilty, wasn't he? That's right, he was. And the case remained a mystery. In other words, we failed. It was the first case the world has ever seen the Korean tradition openly involved in. It was all over the media, the public, the judiciary, the people of Korean village. Everyone judged her. Everyone said Misty's powers were a sham. And then she just disappeared, vanished, while everyone still thought of her as a fraud. But I know the truth! Misty Faye's spirit channeling wasn't a sham at all. Of course it wasn't. And since you managed to reveal the truth, we're finally making a comeback. The Korean tradition is starting to recover at last. I was a new master wielding the power of the clan. Does you mean Maya? The spiritual power of the Korean channeling technique is in the blood. Maya told me the exact same thing before. The women of the Fae clan have always been spirit mediums. It's because the power to communicate with spirits flows strongly through us. According to Maya, only the women in the family can inherit that power. The main family bloodline stems directly from Mr. Gami. Of each new generation, only one daughter becomes the new master. And the ones who don't become You know, Maya had a sister too. An older sister named Mia. Oh yes, I've heard of her. What? You know about Mia? Of course. She became a lawyer in the hopes of discovering what happened to her mother. And lost her life. As a result. You know what Mystic Mia is rumored to have said? She said it wasn't only because of her mother that she became a lawyer. She also didn't want to fight with her sister over the leadership of the tradition. Really? Well, she saw what happened to her own mother, Mystic Misty, as she grew up. I guess Mystic Mia got tired of seeing all the rivalry between her mom and her aunt. That's right. Misty Faye had an elder sister too. Misty, having superior powers, managed to usurp the master seat from her. Mystic Misty's sister is Mystic Morgan, as you probably know. Morgan? That's a name I know well. It was a year ago now, at Maya's home, Karain Village. What she did was terrible. It was all so she could make her own daughter the next master. She is evil. I suppose if you know about Mystic Morgan's daughter, then you must have already realized that Iris... Huh? Iris? What's Iris got to do with any of this? That Iris is Mystic Morgan's daughter. What? Iris is what? Is she kidding me? Iris is Morgan Faye's daughter? Did you just say that Iris is Morgan Faye's daughter? Oops, I thought you already knew. It sounded like you met only one of Mystic Morgan's daughters already. I have. I know her very well. Oh. Yes, Pearls. Pearl Faye. But I always thought she was an only child. You're just that child. She's Mystic Morgan's. I had no idea. Mystic Morgan. But she's in prison now, isn't she? Yes. Ever since she was found to be a co-conspirator in a murder case last year. It was all done to set Pearls up as the next master. I see. I've been wrong all this time. Mystic Morgan had 3 daughters, not 2? Wait, what? 3? Yes, Iris, her twin sister, and Mystic Pearl. What? Twin sister? Didn't you know? What happened 20 years ago? After the clan leadership was taken from her by her sister, Mystic Morgan's life crumbled. It wasn't many years later that Karain's reputation hit an all-time low. When Mystic Morgan's husband realized his wife would never become the new master, he left her in the village, taking their twin daughters with him. Ugh. How awful. He was a jeweler, you know. In the end, he remarried, and that's when it happened. He decided to give one of his girls up to be looked after by us here at the temple. That was Iris, you see. It's unbelievable. If Iris had a twin sister... Could it be... Can you tell me one more thing, Sister Bikini? What was the name of Iris' sister? I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I just can't remember. All I can recall is that her father was a jeweler. Well, that's a clue, I guess. A jeweler. Thank you very much. You've helped clear up a lot of details. Bells had 2 older sisters, huh? Yes, that's right. No doubt it was all because of Mystic Morgan's anger towards the main family. Anger? What do you mean? Her twin daughters were taken from her by her jeweler husband. But even that couldn't destroy her dream that a child of hers would one day lead the clan. That's why she had pearls? It seems that the incident here was a result of Mystic Morgan's anger. She was able to break free of the bars that confine her. So Iris has a twin sister? Plot thickens. But this information will be useless unless I can flesh it out a bit. I need to ask more questions and get some more info. Sounds like someone's happy. What tune is their Sounds like someone's happy. What tune is that they're humming? motive, no crime. No motive, no crime. Say it with me. No motive, no crime. I remember when we used to search in the tunneling room in Terrain. Oops, I love my job. Who cares if the clues I find are no good? That's not what investigating's all about. Investigators investigate for the love of investigating. It's a passion. Good cases we have, good cases we lost, all along the way. I would have never guessed that Gumshoe was into reggae. Every case is gonna be airtight. Every case is gonna be airtight. Hey, pal. Huh? Who, me? How long have you been there? I just got here. Oh, okay. So what are you up to, detective? I'm investigating, pal. I made a promise to Mr. Edgeworth. I promised I would find a real murder weapon. A real murder weapon? That barbed sword thing turned out to be a false lead, right? I'm giving it my best shot here, but I still haven't turned up any clues. I just found these weird scraps of paper. It looks like a letter or something. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with the case, though. A letter? So how's the investigation going, Detective Gumshoe? I don't know if I should be telling you, pal. But I guess it can't hurt. Looks like the murder took place in the Inner Temple Garden. They're taking that bloody writing on that lantern pretty seriously back at HQ. What? You mean... I don't know the details, pal. All I know is, if you don't find Maya down in that sacred cavern, we're gonna be faced with one ugly situation. What kind of ugly situation are we looking at here? You got me. I don't know. They're not my words, pal. Then who said it? Mr. Godo. Godo? What did he mean by that? How'd that letter you found? Don't remind me, pal. First thing I got here trying to find a murder weapon. And all I find is some burnt up old letter. Burnt up old letter? Yeah, it was in that incinerator right outside the Inner Temple. The incinerator? I knew it! I knew I wasn't imagining it. There was snow in the incinerator when I first saw it. But after the incident, the snow had melted away. Which means someone used the incinerator and denied the murder. What's up with you, pal? I got it right here if you want to take a look. Do you mind? Sure, go nuts. I don't want it, pal. You can have it. It's all spirit mediums and masters and stuff. I bet it's got no relation to the case. Spirit mediums? It's gotta be important if it mentions spirit mediums and masters. I better give it a good looking over and some serious thought. Make sure you chuck it in the trash when it's gone. Littering is a crime, pal. So what do you know about the real murder weapon so far? Well, it wasn't a Shichisudo that was found impaled in the victim's body. Mr. Edgeworth proved that in court today. Yes, that's true. In which case, it must have been another blade. And that's what you're running around like a headless chicken looking for now, huh? Yeah, and man, is it tiring work. But let me tell you something, pal. I'm no chicken. We've got the feather of a forensics in our cap these days. We're using the department's secret weapon on this. Secret weapon? What's this secret weapon of yours? You wanna know? You gotta think scientifically, okay? Alright. The murder weapon was a sword. Swords are, scientifically speaking, made of metal, right? Any questions so far? No. I know what he's gonna say, but I'll let him look smart. So what's the perfect tool for the job? Ta-da! A metal detector. Raise your hand if you didn't see this coming from a mile away. Well, you wanna give the scientific investigation a go? Huh? Me? I've been using this thing for hours now. It gets pretty boring after a while. Why don't you give it a try? I don't know. Should I help Detective Gumshoe out or not? Come on, pal. It's good fun, I'm telling you. Alright, then. I guess I'll give it a go. Like I said, this is the department's most advanced gadget. The absolute best. It's so sensitive you can make it cry. It's so high-tech you could skydive off it. Oh, but, now I'm gonna tell you how to use it. It's possible the real murder weapon is around here somewhere, right? Sure, that's what we're trying to find out. Right, so first, let's turn the detector on. That's the sound of the metal detector signal bouncing off of something metallic. Next, move the detector around and give this courtyard a good look-see, pal. And when that happens, press enter to give the area a good hard stare. This thing picks up metallic objects that are hidden from sight too. Take a good look at anything and everything that seems suspicious, okay, pal? This is Miss Denham's stuff, isn't it? Scientifically speaking, they're usually made of wood. But the detective is reacting to it. Yeah, but however you look at it, the thing's made of wood, alright? I don't bother investigating anything unless it looks like it might be metallic. Isn't the whole point of a metal detector to find metal where you can't see it? It's weird that this thing is causing a racket. Here, let me take a look at it. Hey, hands off! Examining evidence is a job for the top is coming off. Look what you've done! You've damaged a really important piece of evidence. Ah! Oh. That's a sword. Inside the staff. Is this... could it be? A murder weapon? Never have guessed there'd be a sword concealed in the victim's staff. I call this kind of thing a sword chain, pal. This one's a real gem. The workmanship is really something else. Thank goodness it wasn't a chain sword. Or else the victim would have stabbed her own foot. I officially give up on trying to figure out how Gumshoe's mind works. Me too. The real scene of the crime was the inner temple guard. Then why was the sword used to kill the victim found in the main hall courtyard? Hey Gumshoe, who knows about the hidden sword? No one. Even the police didn't know about this until I discovered it just now. Well, as they say, there's no team in Gumshoe. It doesn't look like there are any traces of blood on it. But I guess this isn't a murder weapon, huh? No! I'm sure someone just wiped it off after the murder. Yeah, of course. This thing's definitely the murder weapon. Great job, pal! It's about the same length as the Shichisto, too. This must be the murder weapon. Oh, I'm gonna run over to forensics. There's gotta be some traces of blood left, even if most of it has been wiped off. See you later, pal. Every case is gonna be airtight. Every case is gonna be airtight.
Hold it!
Wait up, detective! Huh? What is it, pal? I'm a pretty busy guy right now, you know. You're going to get that stuff analyzed, right? Would you mind holding off for just a while? Huh? What are you talking about, pal? Please! Just until we find Maya. Huh? What's this got to do with her? I don't know, but I'm starting to get a really bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. Oh, so... Look, Maya's trapped inside the sacred cabin right now, and... well, we don't even know if she's okay or not. The more evidence and testimony I hear, the more uneasy I feel. I don't think... Please, detective! Let's just wait until we can get inside the cabin. Looking kind of viridian there. Okay, just stop it with that face, though. One thing, though. The staff's secret trick? Let's keep it between you and me, alright? If it gets out that we knew about it and didn't say anything, we're finished. I understand. This is just a regular, run-of-the-mill stuff. You got it? Okay, now you take good care of it, pal. Thank you, detective. Don't worry. She'll be fine. Gumshoe. You know, there's a place at the base of this mountain that has some really good pasta. How about I take you there when you find Maya, huh, pal? Sure. Thanks. There's a sword hidden inside. No one knows this except me and Detective Gumshoe. Can't help but wonder, though. What was Elise Denham doing with stuff like this in the first place? The cops are still combing the place. They look pretty nervous. I'd be nervous too. It's gotta be a tough job. Especially with someone giving you the evil eye the whole time. How could I have done that? Wow, I can't believe it's still bothering him. Edgeworth? Ugh. Hey, don't you dare run away! What do you want, Wright? What do I want? If you came here to laugh at me, then get on with it. Come on, laugh away. I was ready to hug it out with him, but he's just the same prideful Edgeworth. You went back to the Criminal Affairs Department, right? You said you wanted to look into something concerning Iris. Yes. And thanks to what I found, I was reminded of something terrible. You guys are putting a lot of effort into the investigation of the garden here, huh? There's a high chance this is the actual scene of the crime, that's why. You mean because of the writing in blood and the talisman in the snow? Exactly. As you know, those things couldn't have been planted here after the murder. But surely, you don't suspect... Maya, do you? I have to treat everyone as a suspect, Maya as well as Iris. It's our job, right? So, I guess you still haven't gotten over your fear of earthquakes. No, though thankfully my nightmares have stopped. But still, if the ground gives even the slightest tremor, I find myself short of breath. 17 years ago, when we were little school kids at the same elementary school. Edgeworth found himself in the middle of a murder. It all started with that big quake that hit the courthouse. Yes, I was looking at elevator with my father, who was a defense attorney. We were deprived of oxygen and we passed out. That's when it happened. That single gunshot shattered my whole life. I lost everything that day, all because of that earthquake. My dreams, my family, and myself. It's been more than 17 years now. And that case was finally resolved 2 years ago, right? You think I don't know that? I was there, but it was such a shock I never imagined I could be so wrong about myself and my life. I'm sorry, Wright. There's nothing else I can say. Not after you chose to become a lawyer for my sake, and not after you saved me. Edgeworth, you're stronger than you think, so no more of this self-pity, okay? The thing that bothered me about her from the moment we met, I felt like I'd seen her somewhere before. No, wait. Not somewhere. I felt like I'd seen her in a court before. So you went back to the criminal affairs department to look for a file? Yes, I checked over every case file I've ever worked on. And I was right. I had seen her face before, 6 years ago. 6 years ago? It was my first appearance in court. And as cases go, it was my worst nightmare. So, who is she? I'm sorry, Wright. I can't give that information away to a member of the general public. Oh, why not? It might be the crucial piece of the puzzle that solves this case. What I knew was the daughter of a jewelry store owner. She had nothing to do with Iris and Hazakura Temple. And neither did the case. That woman is completely unrelated to this murder. Unrelated? Yes, I can say that with complete confidence. You're wrong, Edgeworth. She's totally related to this case. I need to fill Edgeworth in. I need to explain the connection between Iris and the woman Edgeworth knew. Hold on. Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know that Iris had a twin sister? What? Twin? You can't be serious. Sister Bikini told me, but the problem is she didn't know the name of this twin. There was nothing about Iris having a sister in the files I checked. Well, Iris was taken in by the temple when she was really young. Apparently her sister was raised by her father, a jeweler, I think. A jeweler? Right, I just might know who this twin sister of hers is. I had a feeling you'd say that. Let me guess. It's her! Her name is Dahlia Hawthorne, right? Yes, exactly. Please tell me what you know about her, Edgeworth. Please. It was my first court case, 6 years ago. I was a greenhorn, and due to my inexperience, the defendant died. We're talking about Terry Falls, right? Do you know about that case? You're not the only one who noticed something about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne. I checked one of Mia's old files from 6 years ago. Yes, Dahlia was a key witness in that case. Dahlia and Terry Falls conspired together to stage a fake kidnapping 11 years ago. They stole a jewel worth $2 million from Dahlia's father, a jeweler. 5 years after that, she murdered her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne, to keep her from talking. Her sister? Well, her stepsister, actually. They weren't blood related. Valerie is the only daughter of Dahlia's father's second wife. This is when she entered my life. The woman who tried to kill me. Ugh. So after Terry Falls died, what happened to Dahlia? Did you check that out? Doesn't really matter. Like I said, Dahlia isn't connected with this case. He's so sure about that. It's simple. Dahlia Hawthorne is dead. What? Well, her metabolic processes are a matter of interest only to historians, so to speak. What do you mean by Dahlia Hawthorne is dead, Edgeworth? Right, I must confess that in reading her file, I came to know of the murder case you were involved in during your college years. Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, thanks to the persistence of Mia Fey. Mia Fey! Mia Fey! At the time, Dahlia, it's like she was possessed by a demon or something. It's been almost 5 years since that guilty verdict was handed down, and her sentence was finally carried out. She was executed last month. Executed? I'm sure that's a bit of a shock for you, Wright, and for more reasons than one. But do you understand now? You can't possibly be connected with this case. She's dead, and when someone is dead, there's no way to revive them. There's no way to revive the dead. I wonder. Seem to know aware of one other connection yet, Edgeworth. And what is that? It's about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne's mother. What's their mother got to do with any of this? She's Morgan Fey, a spirit medium from a branch family of the Crane channeling technique. Did you say Crane channeling technique? Do you know something about it? Oh yes, I know it's connected with that fraudulent spirit medium. Fraudulent? I was involved in another nightmare 17 years ago. I was caught up in the middle of a murder investigation. The police didn't have any leads. They were stumped, and that's when they called her in. She was a very famous spirit medium and the master of her channeling school. But you know what happened. As a result of her efforts, an innocent man was accused of murder. She and her accomplice, they were all fraudulent. Edgeworth. Go to the police records room. It's all in there. All you have to do is check the DL6 incident case file and you'll know. Of course. How could I forget? Edgeworth was the victim in that case. Edgeworth, you'll understand someday. And then you'll see that the crane channeling technique is real.
Take that!
Alright, here we go. I think it's time you told the truth about what you were doing on that night. You said you were in your room at Hazakura Temple the entire time. You still claim that to be the truth? Yes, that's where I was. Iris, I believe you're innocent. That's why I want to believe what you're telling me too, but I can't. Because this person saw you somewhere else on the night of the murder.
Take that!
I'm talking about Sister Bikini, of course. Sister Bikini? The testimony in court today was very clear. At night, I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but... well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to the Hazakura Temple. Sister Bikini didn't just see you, she spoke with you. You two talked about Maya's training that night. So you see, Iris, you were there at the inner temple on the night of the murder. That's very impressive, Mr. Wright. The acolyte's actual training was due to start after 10 o'clock that night. I left the main hall early so I wouldn't be late. What time was that? Let me see. It takes about 20 minutes to walk between the main hall and the inner temple. So I would have left at about 9:40 p.m. I think. I'm sorry, Iris, but lying just doesn't suit you. Huh? Now, you say you left the main hall at 9:40 p.m., but what you say doesn't add up with this. yourself testified to the contrary, don't you remember? You said you rang the lights out bell at 10 o'clock that night. Plus, only moments before you rang that bell, you were seen at the main hall by the most reliable witness I have. Who's that? Me. Mr. Wright? We even spoke a little that evening. That's when you gave me this. Surely you haven't forgotten. No, that's right. I remember. And that brings us to another puzzling fact, Iris. At 10 o'clock on the night of the murder, you were seen in 2 different places at the same time. It's time you told me exactly what's been going on, Iris. So far, I managed to prove 2 things. First, on the night of the incident, you were at the inner temple. And second, at the exact same time, you were ringing the bell at Hazakura Temple. There's only one possible explanation for this apparent impossibility. On the night of the incident, you were seen in 2 different places at the same time, which means there must have been 2 of you. I can't think of any other explanation, Iris. But that's crazy. How can that be? There's only one of you. It's impossible. Impossible? I wonder. The way you're trembling certainly seems to suggest otherwise. You're seriously trying to suggest there's more than one of me? Then show me the evidence. Show me something that proves there's more than one of me. It's your evil twin sister.
Take that!
I have a firm grasp of the situation now, Iris. You have a sister, don't you? A twin sister, perhaps? That's right. Dahlia Hawthorne, a woman I know only too well. I had no idea you knew of her. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. But she's no longer... Yes, I know. Her sentence was carried out recently, wasn't it? I'm sorry. Thank you. There's no need to explain now, is there, Iris? The second you, who was here at the temple, denied the murder. It was your twin sister, Dahlia Hawthorne. But you just said it yourself a second ago. My sister's dead. Have you forgotten that? Have you forgotten this, Iris? This is a channeling dojo, a training ground to train channeling technique. That night, someone channeled Dahlia's spirit, and you knew about it. And that's the secret you've been trying to hide from me. Ah! Got it! Sister, Dahlia, the other half of me who passed away last month. Just as I suspected. Iris, that Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple on the night of the murder. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Why didn't you tell me this before? Because my sister always does the right thing. Right. Excuse me? Because I mustn't get in the way of what she's trying to do. You betrayed her? What do you mean? That's why I have to accept that I may be so guilty. Anyway. What is she talking about? No, I'm not approaching this, right? About the fake kidnapping that took place here on Eagle Mountain 11 years ago. That's the start of it all. It's what started her down that twisted path. Crime after crime, and in the end, she lost her life. It's all because I betrayed her. How did you betray her, Iris? There's no coincidence that Eagle Mountain is where the exchange was to take place. After all, I helped plan the whole what? I got scared, so I ran away. What are you talking about? Why would you help her? Of all people, why would you help Dahlia? Stealing $2 million from your own father? That's awful! But I promised that I'd help. And you didn't do it for the money. Bullshit! Huh? It was revenge on our father. Revenge? you mean by revenge? He was a hideous man. He threw our mother away and then sent her to hell. Her mother? He must be talking about Morgan Faye. I mean, to be fair, she does deserve to be in hell. Her mother was the eldest daughter of the main branch of the Faye family. The main family had a lot of influence in many businesses and political circles at the time. As the eldest daughter, our mother was set to inherit all of that as the next master. That's the reason our father married our mother in the first place, for power. Ooh. But his plan backfired, because our mother's sister took it all from her. She took over as the master of Corain. That would be Misty Faye, Maya's mother. But before long, the credibility of the Corain tradition hit rock bottom. The new master, Misty Faye, made a terrible mistake. During the investigation of the DL6 incident. After that happened, my father took me and my twin sister away, leaving our mother and our home behind. He hated the place. He said it was a hick dive, and that he had no reason to stay there. And that's when he came here to Hazakura Temple? Yes, the woman my father took as his next wife already had a daughter, Valerie. I had no place in his new family, you see. Oh. I haven't seen my mother once since then. Having the master's seat stolen from her and being rejected by her own family. I've heard she's been very battered, spiritually and emotionally. I think I'm finally beginning to see how the pieces fit together. I invested everything I can in my capacity as a prosecutor. This incident, everything related to it goes back to the history of the Faye clan. That's what it looks like. Iris, there's just one more thing I want you to tell me. What is it? During the incident in which your sister, Dahlia Hawthorne, poisoned a lawyer, she began a relationship with a certain college student in order to hide the evidence. That college student, have you heard anything about him? Well, I heard one thing. That college student was such a simp. She said she hated his guts. I see. Thank you for your help. Ow! Hurry up, Phoenix Wright. There's still much to investigate. I'll open it for you, I promise. Thank you. I suppose I better continue my investigation. There's still one giant secret left to unlock. How's Cyclops? Look at that. They really did make a fire right in front of the shack. Oh, Mr. Nick. Ha! You're too late, Nick. You came here for one of our potatoes. We've already polished them all off. I think I pretty much got all the evidence I need. Now I just need to find out what Pearls is hiding.
Take that!
After dinner on the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Elise Denham's room reading a book together, correct? Yes, I was so happy when she invited me. But I didn't go in the end. You didn't go? No, there was somewhere else I had to go instead. I was so worried. I had to go. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so nervous. So Pearls never went to Miss Denham's room. Because she was too worried about something or someone else. Pearls? On the night of the murder, you went to this place, didn't you?
Take that!
You went here, didn't you, Pearls? But you're still not going to open up to me. This is where you went because you were so worried, right? And the next question is, who or what were you so worried about? Now I'm gonna take a guess and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, okay? You mean you know? If I'm right, will you tell me the whole truth? Okay. You went to this place for one very simple reason, and that is this.
Take that!
It's obvious what you were so worried about, Pearls. It was Maya, wasn't it? You knew the training Maya was undertaking was dangerous. After all, it was a special course. I signed up for your special course. Oh, my. Quite brave of you, considering how cold it is. Young people can be so reckless with their health. Don't blame me if you become one of those who channel. Sister Bikini scared you with what she said, didn't she? And because it was you who introduced Hazakura Temple to Maya in the first place, you felt responsible, didn't you? Thinking about what could happen to Mystic Maya made me more and more worried. I couldn't sit still at all. That's why I decided to go and find out how she was doing at the inner temple. And we're clear now that you went to the inner temple that night, Pearls. What's not clear is what happened after that. About what time was it when you headed over to the inner temple? It was probably around 9:30 when I left the main hall. I heard the real training was supposed to start at 10. I wanted to get there before it started. But there was so much snow, so I didn't get there until after 10 o'clock. Until after 10? I didn't know what time it was. Because I heard the bell ringing for lights out. You heard the lights out bell? That was a Hazakura Temple bell. It's pretty small though, isn't it? I must have really good hearing. I was really trying to pick up the sound of that bell, that's all. I didn't want to miss it. That would be terrible. You were trying to hear the bell? Tell me, Pearls. Why were you so worried about hearing that bell? Huh? No, I think I know why. The reason you were so worried about that bell was because of this.
Take that!
You were given some instructions to follow for that night, weren't you? I presume you recognize these pieces of paper? Where did you... In the incinerator at the inner temple. Pearls, you were following the instructions in this letter that night, weren't you? That's why you couldn't afford to miss the sounds of the lights out bell. I'm speechless, Mr. Nick. You're amazing. These instructions that were found in the incinerator. I believe they were written for you, Pearls. For me? No. As you can see, a large portion has been burnt. But the last section is still fairly legible. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Who was it, Pearls? Whose spirit were you supposed to be channeling? Taking into account the author of the note and the purpose for writing it, whose spirit would Pearls have been trying to channel? Don't overthink it, Phoenix. It's pretty obvious who Pearls was supposed to channel. The person you were trying to channel that night, Pearls, was...
Take that!
It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That was the name that was in the letter. It's just as I suspected. It wasn't Iris whose Sister Bikini met at the inner temple that night. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. You know anything about her, Pearls? Do you know what kind of a woman Dahlia Hawthorne was? No. I never heard of anyone by that name before reading those instructions. I thought so. Pearls doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know that Dahlia is her sister. About the instructions in the letter I found, Pearls. Who wrote them? Whoever it was asked you to channel the spirit of someone you never heard of. You must have quite a lot of respect for them. After all, you followed their instructions without question. So here's my next question. Who wrote this set of instructions for you to follow? It's your evil mother, Pearl.
Take that!
Pearls, I have to wonder about something. You didn't have any idea what these instructions meant, did you? But you followed them to the letter regardless. Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you. That's why. How did you... I figured it out. The person who wrote you this letter was your own mother, Morgan Fay. Oh boy. Alright, Pearls. It's time you started telling me the truth. Mr. Nick, why is she holding back from me? I don't like this. It's underestimating me just because I'm a child. Huh? If you're trying to say I followed these instructions, I'd like to see some proof. What? Because I don't think you have any. Say anything rather than admit to carrying out those instructions? I guess I'll have to produce some more evidence then. One more thing should do it. Alright, Pearls. I don't know if someone carried out these instructions on the night of the murder. But you're right. There's no evidence that proves it was you. I knew it. However, I do know that whoever did it was a child. Huh? How do you know that? couldn't have been an adult. No adult would have made a simple mistake like that. Simple mistake? What do you mean by that? I'm sure you thought you were carefully following the instructions you've been given, but you misunderstood some of the words, and this is the evidence that proves it.
Take that!
It was you who splattered gravy on this hanging scroll, wasn't it? What? Why would I do something like... Do you remember what was written in that letter? Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. But you didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast among others, right? How do you know that? Remember the conversation you had with Miss Denham on the night of the murder? Perhaps we can read some books together. Really? I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading. Well then, would you like to practice reading with me? Miss Elise, so for example, how do you read this? It says gravely. That's kind of a tough word. Sure, Miss Denham taught you how to read gravely and roast. But what she didn't teach you is what they meant. Gravely sounds like gravy to me. The only roast I could think of was the food. And that's why you did it. That's why you covered the picture of the master in gravy for that night's pot roast. To be honest, I did think it was a bit strange. Because I really did get the wrong idea. Just a tiny bit. I really am useless. I couldn't even burn the letter properly as my mother had asked of me. Such a simple thing, and I couldn't even do it right. After dinner that night, I did go to the inner temple with a pot full of the leftover gravy. The gravy? I saw the picture in the hanging scroll near the sacred cavern. I was sure it was a massive grain, like it said in the letter. I see. And then? Well, it was already way past 10 when I got there because of all the snow. So I went to the inner temple guest area. The guest area? Yes, I thought I could wait there until the training was over. Why didn't you just go to the training hall? Maya's main training had already started, and I couldn't interrupt it. So I just stayed where I was and prayed for her to get through it. But then Pearl, did you fall asleep? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just couldn't help it. Hey, don't worry about Pearl. Who cares if he fell asleep? I fell asleep waiting for Iris, too. It happens. Anyway, then you found yourself trapped at the inner temple? Yes, when I woke up in the morning, I tried not to cry, but Dusty Bridge wasn't there anymore, and there was no one in the training hall. I thought everyone had left me because I overslept. I threw the letter into the incinerator, and I heated up the leftover gravy and let off some steam by chucking the gravy on the scroll while you cried. This has been pretty scary for you, Pearl. I know what it's like. Nick used to leave me behind when I fell asleep at school, too. Don't equate something so trivial with their experience, Larry. I'm written right here in my mother's letter. It said, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. I was on my way over to the inner temple when I heard the bell ring. So you channeled Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit? No. I tried, but I couldn't do it. You couldn't do it? I never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened. I tried, and I tried, and I tried. Yesterday, this morning, the whole time. But I just couldn't do it. So she never managed to channel the spirit? Is that why you think your spiritual powers are gone? I said, I didn't know what to do. Isn't there any other explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit? I suppose there's one other possibility. It's not very likely, though. Can you please tell me what it is anyway? It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit. What? Someone else? What do you mean? There was only one of each spirit, right? Then that would mean on the night of the murder, someone else channeled her spirit before Pearls could? Someone else channeled the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a failure. I couldn't even grant my mother's final wish. Her final wish? Yes, this letter. This is my last wish, she said. So make sure you follow the instructions carefully. This letter. I definitely need to find out more about it. My mother is going to a place called a penitentiary. Yeah, I know, pals. I visit her every month. And last month she told me, the time I've been waiting for has come, pal. There's something I need you to do for me. I hid a letter for you at our home before they brought me here. I want you to read it and do exactly what it says. It's for the good of the Fae clan, my angel. You'll be doing a great thing. Now, listen carefully, and I'll tell you where the letter's hidden. You are evil! My mother is always nice to me. Yeah, moms will do anything for their kids, right? She said I was trying to get out of the Fae clan, so I knew I had to help her. I mean, Mystic Mud is part of the Fae clan, so it had to be good for her, too. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Nick? I guess so, yeah. She has a picture of her letter, too. A picture? I Miss Delia Hawthorne. Usually a picture is enough to channel someone's spirit, but this time... Very weird, huh? Like Larry knows anything about this stuff. There's something else that was strange about my mother's letter. The seal in it was broken, as if someone had already opened it once before. It sure is pretty strange. Someone had opened it already? Thanks, pals. You really helped me out. You're very welcome. My mother is watching over us. I'm sure Mystic Maya will be alright. Look at that innocent smile on her face. What am I supposed to say to her? Huh. Oh, what are you doing now? Finally figured it out, have you, Troy? You finally realized how terrible of a crime being painfully oblivious is. Dodo? The entrance to the Sacred Cavern looks like a freaking puzzle workshop. I guess he's talking about Iris and the lock-breaking effort. But it's all a waste of time. Well, why do you say that? Because my Fae isn't coming back. What? You don't know what you're talking about. How can you say something like that? It was your job to protect her, Trite. Just like it was your job to protect me, a Fae. Two sisters caught up in the worst circumstances. I realized that, but... And you were the only one who was by her sides. You were the only one who could have saved them. But I didn't know anything about what was going on. What did I just say, Trite? Being oblivious is a heinous crime in itself. Tomorrow, we'll settle everything in court tomorrow, once and for all. He's pretty pissed. Mr. Nick, is what that man just said true? It'll be alright, pals. Sure Maya's alive. You'll see for yourself tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. I know I can trust you, Mr. Nick. My dear pal. Morgan. You've done so well, my child, my pearl. You are evil, Morgan. You deserve to be where you are. In fact, no. You know what? You deserve to be in hell, Morgan. How could you use your daughter like that? It's better that you don't know what you've done. You are evil. I knew this day would come for you. The blood of the main family is no more. Now finally, after all this time, the master's seat is yours. My last great wish. It seems I was just in time. You deserve to burn in hell, Morgan. Wow. Well, anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. We're going to be continuing this very soon, but in the meantime, if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to see more videos like this in the future, as well as hitting that notification bell. Until then, take care and goodbye.